Hello, hello. It is week 7
Yay!
already.
We made it to countdown.
And you all made it.
Yes, we've been on a countdown the past 6 weeks. This is week 7.
No.
Yeah, drum roll.
Boom.
As to 7 behaviors that are destructive to the marriage relationship.
And we just hope that these 7 things, well, the 6 things, the 7 going to be today, would help your marriage to grow, to advance, and to not be stagnated.
Exactly. Like a good gardener, we want you to pull up these things if they have been a part of the relationship. And we understand it does take awareness. It takes intentionality, because a good marriage does not just happen. We have to be very active in building it.
That's so true. All six of these things that we've done, well, 7 today, are really personal to us. But this number 7 is the state that we're in now, whereas you have to be able to grow.
Yes.
You have to be able to grow. You have to be able to develop.
Yeah, so embracing growth as a lifelong commitment.
Mm-hmm.
Did you get that? It's not seasonal. He bringing in the plant.
There you go. I have, I'm a semi-farmer, but I have a garden.
All those things that are not as they are.
A garden on my patio, and I planted some okra, and the other okras are maybe 3 to 4 feet, but these okras here,
wow.
But these okras here, for some reason, they're not growing. I don't know if I'm planting them late. I don't know if they need to be in a bigger pot. But the growth is stunned. It's not growing like the other plants are producing okra that's ready to eat. But this plant here is not. And I planted them at the same time.
Yeah, so that speaks of, we have a reflection of what stagnation can look like.
There you go.
And of course, it could be because of a number of reasons. We think about the soil, we think about the position on the plant, on the deck,
the sunlight,
the sunlighting, the so on and so forth. But this is what we've come to understand, is that in our marriage, growth, maturing, transforming, whatever words you want to use to capture, becoming, evolving, is not optional.
It is not optional, because what it does is causes so many problems in the marriage. It causes the husband and wife if they're locked up like this, it'll steady start slipping, and you start finding yourself at a distance with each other.
And of course, the more distant areas in our relationships, the more dissatisfaction there is, which again speaks to the lack of development. And get this, here's another D word, it leaves the marriage unit on the path to divorce. Did you get all of those 3?
Yes.
The more distant, it really exposes dissatisfaction, and it leaves the couple on the path towards dissolving the union, which in most cases will lead you towards divorce.
So find a good time to talk to your spouse and sit down and have a heart-to-heart conversation. That's what, okay, baby, how can we grow more? How can we grow stronger? How can we grow together?
And that's a conversation that is needed. But here's the thing we don't want you to be disillusioned about, is that sometimes growth doesn't always take place.
It's a process.
It's a process, yes. And it doesn't always take place, get this, in unity. Meaning that, hey, you may be growing in one area and your spouse may be growing in another area. You may not both be coming up at the same time, but don't yield to frustration if such is to take place, especially if you're a believer, because you have a secret weapon.
Yes, there's a parable. I don't want to get too. There's a parable in the Bible where Jesus speaks of how the owner came to get fig trees, and he went to the fig tree, and the fig tree did not produce.
Yeah.
And guess what? The owner was angry because it's a fig tree. It should produce fig. And he wanted to pull it up and tear it down. And the God said, no. Let me go through my process. Let me dig around it. Let me put some fertilizer around it. Let me change the position of it. Let me dig around it so that the roots can spread out. And that's the way it is when it comes to our marriage. It's a process.
It's a process, and it does, again, takes care. We have to cultivate the relationship so that fruit comes forth. But here's the thing, there's benefits to growing. We've spoken about, the cause of what would happen when growth doesn't take place. But when there is growth, there is fruit, right?
Mm-hmm.
There is greater satisfaction.
There
There is
is productivity.
productivity
Yes.
in the relationship. It is a protector factor for the relationship.
And it harmonizes the
Yeah.
relationship. That means you all are coming to be as one.
Yeah.
There's a oneness when you grow together. Now, I've seen situations where one spouse grows faster than the other one, but it should be a togetherness when it comes to growth.
When you get to a certain place, yes, you both eventually should be emerging together, right?
And there should be some fruit on it.
Absolutely.
Yes.
And here's the thing. If you are a believer, there's a demand on you to grow.
Demand or command?
There is a both command
There
and
you
a
go.
demand, right?
All right, okay.
I love Romans 12:2 that tells us to be not conformed to the world, the way that we were shaped, the way that
Right.
we develop, but be committed to the process of transforming. We are called to transform into the image of Christ. And no matter how well you are coming into the marriage, because I know we've been on this track for a while as it relates to society, about
Right.
making sure that you're healed and you know all you need to know about yourself before you come into the union. Well, yes, do that, but know that some things you will not know about yourself until you show up in marriage. When marriage begins to reflect to you a lot more clearly who you really are. And then you have to, again, continue the process of evolving and growing and transforming.
That is so true. Now, we're going to have an open book test. So go ahead and grab all your notes, grab all your videos from before, and we're going to give you all a quick open book test.
All right.
What was the number one thing that we talked about that was disruptive or detrimental to a marriage?
Week one, was in week one.
Disrespect.
Disrespect.
Disrespect can derail a marriage. It can devalue a marriage, and it would cause a marriage to go into a slump or even separation, because the disrespect can reach a point to where you no longer want to stay together.
But certainly create an environment of toxicity for sure. And number two, week two,
Boom.
the big A word, anger.
Oh, no. Yes.
Anger. Certainly, you can be angry. You know, it's a strong emotion. Don't have to be fearful of it, but make sure that you are managing the anger in a way that is not destructive.
That's it. So swallow that pride. You can get mad. You may disagree, but don't see it.
Yeah, let your maturity speak as to how you actually manage that anger. It will be exposed, whether you're emotionally mature or lack thereof.
Okay, you got that right? Okay, number 3.
Oh boy, dishonesty.
Boom.
A marriage without trust is painful.
Painful.
Yeah, it's like a house with a shabby foundation. It's
There
just
you go.
uncomfortable, creates insecurity. Cannot put your entire weight on it.
Yes, can I trust you, or I'm having resentment from trusting you in the future.
Yeah, or breaking trust.
Yes.
Fearful of trusting in the future, as you're saying, yeah.
Yes, because trust really means putting all your weight, all your time, all your effort, all of your energy into the marriage. So when there's dishonesty, then that causes a lapse in the marriage. And which takes us to number 4. I can hear you. That's it. You got it. You don't want to be taken advantage of. You don't want to be taken for granted.
Yeah.
The husband, the wife has something to bring to the table. So you don't want to be taken for granted. You don't want to think, okay, well, you're not pulling your weight around here, or you're not doing what your total responsibility in this marriage. No. Come together and talk about, okay, what is it that we need to do to get on the same page, to get on the same track?
Yeah, and communicate. Let your partner know, hey, I appreciate you. I see you. I thank you.
Thank you for taking the trash out.
Exactly.
Thank you for making my break.
Yeah, I'm grateful. No, I didn't, but it's okay. I'm grateful for you.
Yes.
Yeah, so communicate. appreciation, gratitude, and fondness.
Yes, yes. And then this next is, oh boy. Number 5.
Oh boy, yeah. Do you have a problem with apologizing? Yeah, that thing right
Okay, yeah, right there, yeah.
Admitting that you're sorry.
That did. And the first thing is to do is to admit that you do have a problem with it.
there. Okay.
That's the first thing right there. And then trying to figure out what is the response, what can I do to better this thing?
Yeah. So humbling ourselves is the key. It is the key to apologizing.
Swallowing that pride, humbling yourself. Say, you know what? I was wrong.
Yeah. Do what you expect your spouse or what you desire that your spouse would do for you when you make a mistake.
That's true. Because guess what? You might be right, but the timing that you say stuff or do anything could be wrong.
Absolutely.
And number 6, boom, boom.
Ooh, ineffective or poor communication.
Poor communication.
Yeah. So yeah, we understand poor communication is the number one reason that most marriages fall apart. So here's the thing: the better we are at communicating, the better we are expressing our desires, our concerns, and our frustration in a way that we show respect to our mates as well as ourselves. It will undoubtedly protect the marriage from dissatisfaction. So,
but we also talked about the spouse that's not saying anything, how his body action and his or her response is saying a lot, and it communicates as well.
absolutely
Non-verbal communication,
absolutely. Non-verbal communication is just as loud as verbal communication.
Yes. And number 7, which we already went over, today you want to grow, because our ultimate goal is to produce much fruit.
That's right. Commit to growth, y'all.
I'm Marvin.
And I'm Lila.
You all made the 7 weeks. You got an 8. Yep.
And go back and do the review. If you miss any of those, go back and review those areas. And we encourage you to share the information with others whom you know can aid and benefit from tools that will help them to make a better marriage.
And don't forget, eventually we'll be shifting everything over to our YouTube channel. So you all need to look for us on our YouTube channel. You need to go and like and subscribe our YouTube channel. Make a better marriage.
See you next time.
Bye-bye.